Warning, it's double eviction week.
Good evening, fans, and welcome back to Big Brother, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for BB19. I am your host, Big Brother superfan and Big Brother super historian Luke Labagnera, coming to you live from East Haven, Connecticut. With me, my fellow Big Brother co-host and historian superfan Dom Greco, also coming to you live from East Haven, Connecticut.
How's it going?
It's going great, man. We got a lot to cover tonight, so let's get to it.
All right.
Previously on Big Brother, it was the power of veto that was back up for grabs. Big Brother superfan and star of Me, Myself, and I, Bobby Monahan, made a special surprise appearance into the Big Brother house, bringing in with him the pots and pans.
That was hysterical. Oh my god, when he just came in banging, the look on Josh's face was priceless. And that's got to be kind of incredible because you have like a celebrity who he may or may not look up to, you know? Like, I don't know how Josh feels about Bobby Monahan, but he knew him, apparently. So, it's like meeting a celebrity, but finding out that celebrity knows you. You know, that's even crazier, you know what I mean? So, I can only imagine what was going on through Josh's head.
It's like a reverse, like it's on the other side of the fork, basically, because you know the celebrities by seeing them on TV, but they're the superfans that are watching you, and he was watching all season, so that made it even crazier, like you said. But anyway, not only was he there to hang out with some of the house guests, he got a tour of the Big Brother house, and he basically got to communicate and chill with them, but that wasn't just why he was there. He was there to host the next Power of Veto ceremony.
Now, is this the first time we've had a celebrity in the house like this?
Maybe, yeah. Aside from veterans coming back to host the competition, yeah, I think this was pretty big. He came back to host the veto competition. I don't know if this would be... this was actually considered a memory comp, considering that
kind of, yeah.
He had a series of questions to ask him. So, he had to ask them. So, anyway, it was an invention type of competition where the house guests had to stand inside this big invention because his character on the show, Me, Myself, and I, is playing a famous, not a famous, but a passionate inventor. And,
the concept for the show is kind of interesting because it takes place in present day with Bobby Monahan as the present day character. And then it shows him, in his past when he was a kid, and there's another actor. And then it jumps to the future, and it shows, there's another actor that plays, an older version of him. So the show takes place in 3 different timelines. It's kind of a cool concept. I like it.
I thought it was pretty cool too. I've seen the trailers for it, and I think it's pretty good. We'll get into more of a little bit of juicy gossip I want to cover towards the end of tonight's podcast. As we know, during the competition, I think they watched a clip or so from not from the trailer. No, I'm sorry. They were set up in this invention that he invented. He created about 4 of them because I think there were 4 that were competing in the Power of Veto competition. It was a kick, slap, punch, and bam competition where they were hit or slightly tackled a multiple number of times from this invention or something like that. I totally forgot the name of it, but I thought it was pretty funny to watch because it made funny noises when the house guests were being slapped, kicked, and punched. But I don't know how... They were saying ow several times. I mean, I don't know how painful it was to be hit like that, but I don't think they would have been put through that much abuse, even if it was endurance.
No, I don't think it hurt, but it's more of those, if it catches you off guard, you could get the wind knocked out of you, you get hit in the stomach. It doesn't have to be hard, somebody could just bump you, and the fact that you're not expecting it, so.
Yeah, that...
Some people's reaction, too, is to yell ow when they're not even hit. I could go up and just go like this to somebody, and they'll be like, ow! And they'll be like, I didn't even do anything, people do that all the time, so.
So it was kind of in that perspective, or in that theory, that it was kind of
I think it's kind of like an involuntary thing.
like an involuntary response, a psychological involuntary response, what we're seeing there.
Yep.
But anyway, after a series of questions and after several of them being knocked out and several blah, 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 and half of them, I mean, I think, who was told, was somebody told to throw the veto comp again by Paul? Because it was.
He told Alex to throw it.
And
to him.
And she wasn't doing it on purpose. She wanted to throw it to him, but she kept getting every answer correct because she has such a good memory. I think memory is in her blood, basically.
Well, her and Jason were on the block together, and I think she was starting not to trust people, so she wanted to make sure, because at that point, if she wins it, right, in her mind, if she wins it or Paul wins it, it doesn't really matter, because if Paul's gonna keep his word and take them off the block, or if she wins and takes them off the block, it doesn't matter. You know, they didn't know, Alex didn't know the plan was to backdoor Jason. She wouldn't have gone along with it anyway, even if she did know. So at that point, it was just, I think it was kind of like the Jason and Alex, the hot dog competition from last week or the week before, where neither one wanted to drop. You know, it's just like a competitive thing. So I think Alex was just being competitive at that moment, you know?
That's right. But after, like I said, after so many bumps in the competition and after so many rounds and after so much heat that was all up and the power back up for grabs, congratulations, Paul. You have won the power of veto. No surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, not only did Alex throw it to him, everybody else threw it to him.
Yeah.
Even though they were trying to compete as hard as they could, it was impossible. But Paul, in his snaking little ways, and he has some nerve saying he's not a snake, when in other words, he is a snake. And Dominique called him out right in the beginning of the season. And remember, he came down from the bedroom and said, "You want me to come in there and talk to you, or you want me to slither my way in?" Well, you may as well slither yourself in there because you are a snake. Because everybody bought what you said.
Mm-hmm.
They said, he told Jason and Alex, "I want to backdoor Kevin." But in the diary room, he was saying, "They don't know this yet, but my plan is really to get Jason out. And Christmas is on board with me because Christmas said in the diary room, it's time to break up this power couple."
Yep.
And so their cover-up, or their leper that they were wearing, was to make them believe that they were going to backdoor Kevin, when in reality they weren't.
Yeah.
So, in other words, going into the live double eviction ceremony, the house guests were once again shocked by the news. And they were put at a, what's the word I'm looking for? They were caught way off guard when they realized that it was a double eviction, even though they should have suspected it coming, because we have to have at least 2 double evictions on Big Brother in order to get on point for the next show, because...
Right. And Alex was saying, you know, as she was going to the diary room to vote, she goes, "I knew it! I told you, I knew it!" You know, so she said something, you know, so beforehand. So they knew it was coming, but I think it's still, even though you know it's coming, I think it still catches you off guard when it actually happens, you know?
Right, but her vote was to evict Kevin. She kind of went along with Paul's plan and maybe thought that she could somehow break the ice or break the tie somehow or whatever it was, but, like I just said, the votes are in and we have a tie. Christmas, as the current HOH, you must stand and cast the sole vote to evict. So...
This one was rough.
So, as a reminder, when Christmas casts her sole vote to evict, the evicted house guest will only have just a few moments to say goodbye, gather his belongings, and walk out the front door. Because I forgot to cover that. Paul ended up using the power of veto during the power of veto meeting and used it on Alex. Yep. And Christmas put up Kevin as a pawn. So, like I said, Christmas...
They all thought that Kevin was going home. Even Kevin thought Kevin was going home.
So, yes, right. So, so there was a 2-2 tie vote. Christmas, it was her time to stand and cast her sole vote to evict. She you could see the fear in her face because she knew it was coming. You could see the blood drain from her face and the attitude in her eyes. She was on the verge of tears. Sorry, Jason, I have to evict you. It is official. Jason, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. Complete blind side and a complete, not violent, but infuriating, explosive exit out the front door.
Oh, he marched past everyone. I think his exit was worse than Cody's. He marched right past everyone, grabbed his bag, went out the door, did not even say goodbye to Alex.
No. But, Dom, there was a complete difference. Cody's exit was a sociopathic and complete arrogant exit. And smart
Cody also knew he was leaving, so you know,
he had an I don't give a shit attitude. Like, he didn't really care about the game anymore. But Jason, on the other hand, Cody wasn't blindsided. Jason was completely blindsided. Why? But I have two questions for you here. This is something I didn't get. Now, I'm completely shocked at this blindside, even though I knew it was coming. But why would he get so furiated towards Alex and storm out, and after his exit was complete, why was Paul up in Josh's face? So if it was me, I would have been going home. Like, where's this all going here? Help me here.
I don't know. It's because it's down to 2 votes, right? 2-2. So he thinks he's working with Paul and Alex, right? So he thinks he's got those 2 votes. So that leaves Josh and Raven. You know, so Raven is sitting there. Clearly, Raven would vote against him for what they did to Matt. You know, so Jason had to expect that Raven was voting that way. And then Josh is sitting there crying, saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So it's kind of obvious that Josh was the one that voted too. So, you know, you had that. It was very clear to me anyway. But the thing is, in that moment, he's not thinking clearly, you know? He's like, I just got blindsided. I got backdoored. I don't know who to trust. And he stormed out of the house. He was mad because he was told one thing and something else happened. I would have been mad too. So, yeah, he has every right to be mad and upset. I think by the time he got out, and, you know, sat down with Julie and everything, and they talked in the goodbye messages and all that, I think he realized and he kind of relaxed a little bit. But I can't wait to see, because we haven't seen Jury House we haven't seen them since they first went in. It was just Elena and Cody. We haven't seen anybody else come into that house, into the jury.
And then Mark came in.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Mark came in the same. They showed them all in the same episode.
Right.
We haven't seen Jury House since then, so we have another 2 to 3 people to add to that list now. So I really like to see Jury House again. I want to see what Jason has to say about it. You know, now that some time has passed, and you know, he had time to think on the ride over to Jury House, you know, and gets to rewatch the tape and explain everything. I can't wait to see how Jason explains that.
So do I, when they show the tape and the DVD of the eviction and how it played out and stuff, because obviously they could bring a part of that DVD into the house, but also, this was the first time in Big Brother history, during the eviction interview, that Jason actually said, you know what, I'm just so blindsided right now, I am infuriated, all I want to do is just go back in that house for 5 more minutes and really lay in. And Julie's like, for the safety of the house guests, that's not a good idea. It's also not allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you're out, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but now going into that, and to keep time going, because they were on a time limit, it was then time to crown a new head of household, and I believe it was a memory competition, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, and Julie is always very firm.
It was the true or false statement.
It was a true or false statement. Yep, because what did they watch? A video or something, or what?
It was the BB Revengers.
the BB Revengers trailer, they had to answer questions
Or
about
no,
the
wait,
trailer.
no. That was the
Yeah,
veto. That was the
we're,
veto. Never mind.
yeah, we're getting too far into that. I
No,
forgot.
it was a true or false. And I don't remember what the true or false was about.
Neither do I, because, like I said, we don't do the podcasts every night, and our memory kind of goes off in the week and stuff like that after just covering a whole week, you know?
Yeah.
We're trying to remember as best we can, because it's not like the last 3 years where we covered every episode
Right.
after every episode of those nights.
Right.
But we covered that, so it was down to Alex and Josh, I want to say. That's who I want to say.
Yeah, Kevin actually wasn't too far behind for a little while there either.
No, he's catching up now, Kevin. He was losing a lot of competitions this summer, but he's caught up so far pretty much on what he's been doing and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see he's finally getting in the game. I think he was kind of laying low for a while, and now he's actually playing Big Brother.
Yep.
But when it all came down to it, the correct answer, I believe, was true. Congratulations, Alex. You are the new HOH, and boy, was she thrilled. She came right off of that podium and said, "This is for you, Jason! This is for you! That's for you!" She was crying. I mean, it was such an emotional night that night.
Yeah. And then the people she put up, I'm like, what is she doing?
But let's get into that. But I think that was kind of random because, remember, this is double eviction and it's unexpected, so you're kind of in a hurry to make those decisions, and it's last minute strategizing. So, with her decisions, Alex, it is now time for the live nomination ceremony. Please stand and name your nominations. She has nominated Kevin and Raven, and why would you, I'm saying the same thing. It's stupid. Why would she do that?
Well, we see afterwards. So during this episode here, we don't find out, but in the episode where we crown the head of household, we go back and we start seeing what was going on during the double eviction and some of the conversation stuff, and we see Paul talking to her in the Green Apple room and was like, "Look, we can't take a shot at them right now. We have to wait. We have to strategize because it's gonna blow up in our face. We have to keep the peace and take out Raven or Kevin or whatever. Put those two on the block. We'll take out Kevin." That's what he said to her. So that made more sense to me now. Like, now I understand why. But at the time, I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, when you're first watching the episode, because they don't show you the recap and what played out before the next live eviction or the next live nomination ceremony. So going into that, it was then time to follow with the live Power of Veto competition. Remember, it's a week's worth of Big Brother in 1 hour, so we were kind of rushing things. So anyway, this is the famous ball pit Power of Veto competition where they had to dive into...
I can't think of the ball pit without thinking of the clown shoe. I'm sorry.
The clown shoe? What? Refresh my memory. The clown shoe.
What's his name? The host that does like the interviews and stuff now. I for the life of me, I can't think of it.
The interviews for Big Brother?
Yeah.
The evictions?
No. He does. He's done them the last couple years. Like, he's a big, famous. I'm just totally blanking right now. He's been on the show like twice.
Well, Julie hosted this veto competition.
No, not the veto competition. I'm talking about the cast interviews, like the stuff off the show, like on the internet.
Oh, yeah, Jeff Schroeder, Big Brother legend. Jeff Schroeder,
was digging through the ball pit. He had to find a clown shoe. That was the thing. They had to find shoes, and when he was digging, he threw the shoe out of the pit and didn't realize it. So he was digging through the whole thing for his competition, and he was screaming, "The clown shoe!" Like he couldn't find it because he threw it out of the pit. Was
this season 11 or season 13? I'm having 13. A brain fart here. It was season 13. That's right. Now I remember. That was my very first season. But anyway, this one involved searching for lemons and limes. So when they found a lime in all these, it's like a needle in the haystack competition. They're, digging. They go nuts, throwing all these balls that are supposed to be lemons out of their ball pits. And when they find a lemon, they have to climb up over that balcony thing and reach and try to drop it into their tubes and make 4 of them at least, but they're so light that they could actually float past the hole, so it was taking time.
Yeah, it was the limes that they had to bring back to
The
the
lines
orbs.
they had to be. That's what
The
I said. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you said lemons, but no, they had to bring the limes back to the
No, no, no. They were digging through the lemons and they had to find the limes.
yeah. So they had to bring the limes back and drop them down the cylinder. And I don't know because I don't remember in the rules that were stated, and it may have been explained that we didn't hear everything, but I don't know if they had to reach over the top of the balcony to drop it in, because what I would have done is I would have laid flat and I would have stuck my arm through the bars and tried to do it that way, because I would have gotten closer, to the thing instead of hanging over the top of it.
That I think that would have been breaking the rules because that would be too easy. That would be the easy way out, and then
I mean, it's still a distance. You're still up really high, so I don't know. Like I didn't hear them say anything that they couldn't do that, but maybe it was something that just wasn't aired, for us or whatever. Because I think they explained the rules before we saw them, because they were already lined up when we cut back from the commercial break, so they might have explained the rules in depth to them during a commercial break that we didn't get to see. But yeah, no, I was really happy that Christmas is starting to be able to compete in some of these physical competitions now, because
Right.
with her broken foot and having to go up and down stairs and crawl through these pits, and I was just like, are they gonna let her compete? And they did, and I was like, okay, well, good for her.
Yeah, she's starting to walk better and better every day.
Yeah.
But you know something though? I give her credit because a lot of people would have given up. And you know something? She's not the first person to come into the Big Brother house and play with a physical type of injury or disability because the very first winner of Big Brother, like I pointed out before, Eddie McGee, a Big Brother winner, won. He was an amputee. He had one leg,
Yeah.
and he won.
Yep.
And I mean, the rules and the strategy and the game of Big Brother was different on season 1. They kind of changed it up a little bit, but there were still competitions, and he made it all the way to the end and won.
Yep.
I don't even think there was a jury that season, so he was pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, this is Big Brother 1, so it was coming right away from the UK, so they were kind of mirroring the UK's version, and then we slowly but surely started to create our own game strategy.
Yep.
The
Josh,
premises of the game.
Josh pulled through. He got all his in. It was really close, neck and neck, between him, Alex, Christmas. I think even caught up at one point, and Raven. Raven was really close too. And Josh gets them all in, and he's standing there celebrating and celebrating and celebrating. Julie's like, Josh, you gotta go hit the buzzer. He's still celebrating to the point where Alex now tied him for the win. And I'm like, Josh, you better get the hell down there or you're going home, because all I can think of is if Alex got to that buzzer first, she's gonna use her veto and take one of her nominees off and throw like Josh or Christmas up there, and everything's screwed after that. But no, Josh made it there in time and won the power veto, kept noms the same. So I was really glad about that.
He decided not to use the power veto. So with that, it was then time for the next eviction of the night. In just a few moments, each of them enter the diary room to cast their votes to evict. And now, the results are in. Just a reminder, when Julie reveals the vote, the evicted house guest will only have just a few moments to say goodbye, gather his or her belongings, and walk out the front door. By a vote of 2-1, Raven, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. And another complete dramatic exit.
Yeah, she was in tears. She thinks she played a good game up to this point. I'm like, Raven, are we talking about the same season? Like, were you on another season that I wasn't aware of, and that's the one you're talking about? Like, no, you did not play a good game. I'm sorry. You sat back and hung out with Matt the whole time. The two of you did nothing. You listened to Paul, put all your trust in Paul, and he played you the whole time. You did nothing. I'm sorry.
He blew up your game, in other words, in order to save his game.
Yeah.
Right. But during her eviction interview, she was quite calm but sad. I mean, it's a game. I mean, she didn't walk out and tell them off. She's like, I know you're not sorry. You could just admit it. I'll see you guys, in jury or whatever,
Yeah.
Like, she just wanted to get out of there, I loved her exit, though. She did a cartwheel out the front door.
She did. I got to give her props, though, because she has that gastral... I forget what the actual term is, and I don't want to get it wrong and sound ignorant. But, I liked that she was playing to try to support that and bring awareness to that. Especially going into the house with a pacemaker and all that, too. That's really impressive. So I don't want to take anything away from her, but she didn't really play that great of a game, But I respect what she was trying to play for.
Right, and she did it in support of what she has. Something? She has, going back into this week in the Big Brother house, I don't know if she was making these up, but she seems to have all these medical problems, and now this problem with her spine.
Inverted
she made up, it
spine.
sounded like a weird name that was, yeah, and they're like, what is that? I never even heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that was all kind of made up to kind of gain sympathy and get support?
I don't know. She seems like a pathological liar, but there's still got to be a little bit of truth to some of it. I just think, because a lot of it, I think she doesn't know what she's saying at the same time, because we had Paul asking her what her GPA was, and she goes, dance. I'm like, what? That's not what he asked. Her grade point average is not dance. It's a number somewhere between 1 and 4. But it's definitely not dance. So I think she just doesn't understand terminology for a lot of things. So she may be saying the wrong thing. That's really all I could think of.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of, too, in other words. There's not much I could say, believe me.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard to tell. I mean, you know what, it's not that she's not all there in the head. I give her a lot of credit. I mean, I want to say Raven was the Bronte of Big Brother 19. She was that sweet, bubbly girl,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just something about her that I liked. I mean, I am going to miss her showmance by far was the non-power couple. I mean, they were a couple, but they weren't a power couple. In other words, they were just another couple in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it was... I don't know. There was just something about her I liked. But a big announcement that we did not want to miss from Julie Chen. We come back from commercials. Julie Chen announces, everyone expect us to be back here next summer, and we will. But, our motto on Big Brother, expect the unexpected, and the unexpected just happened. That's right. Celebrity Big Brother. That's right. This winter, 16 celebrities will be behind those front doors competing for the $500,000 grand prize this winter. That's right, America. It's the very first ever Celebrity Big Brother US.
Yeah, this is going to be taking place during the winter now. So I'm really kind of excited about this.
Me too.
Really depends on what is classified as a celebrity. And that's going to be whether or not it holds my interest. Is it going to be like some D-list TV series people that no one's ever heard of, that have been on like 1 or 2 shows? Is that considered a celebrity? Are people from previous seasons of Big Brother or Survivor, are they considered celebrities? Or is it just going to be, like big names like Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, like random, like who knows, Jared Leto, who we could just have a whole Eminem, like the list could go on, of all kinds of people that they could get to include, but I don't know what their definition of celebrity actually entails. So, it looks like we lost Luke, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out what they're doing there. Um, the rumor the rumor is one of the contestants is gonna be Lance Bass, um, and yeah, that's another good point. Ashley is are YouTubers considered celebrities? But one of the rumors is Lance Bass. I personally would love to see Joey Fatone, something like that. Uh, that would be great. Um, and another one of the rumors is actually Betty White, and that one is probably the most interesting because I don't know how Betty White could possibly compete in some of these competitions. It totally blows my mind. So, but yeah, are YouTubers considered celebrities? If so, some of the YouTubers I would love to see are like FouseyTube, uh, or like Markiplier, some big names like that. Ryan Niga, I think those would be great. Um, but uh, yeah, I know we can't get a bunch of A-list celebrities. Um, so we're not gonna see like the full cast of just like people at the level of like Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, Morgan Freeman, like that. We're not gonna see a cast like that. Um, but with with that, I don't know. We have a lot to pull from. If other people like if Survivor contestants are what they consider to be celebrities, then that opens the door for some of that. Some other CBS properties, Amazing Race, Survivor, Big Brother. I'm really hoping they stay away from former Big Brother members, because this is Celebrity Big Brother. It's something that they've never done before in the U.S., and I would absolutely love to get a house full of nothing but celebrities. We have the summer, next summer, for more Big Brother contestants if you guys want to bring those back. Just do not bring Big Brother, people into Celebrity Big Brother. I don't want to see that at all. But yeah. It looks like Luke's internet cut out, so I'm not sure if he will be back or not. So I just got a message from Luke that says, "Hold on, I'm coming." So I think he restarted his computer. But yeah, and I think a good one that we could probably expect to see is Bobby Monahan, who did appear in the same episode they announced it on, or the episode before, rather, from the CBS show Me, Myself, and I. Chances are pretty good because we know he's a big fan of the show, and I'd be honestly surprised if he was not asked to join. But a lot of that is going to come down to availability in the winter, especially. You're going to have a lot of people that are in active TV shows and stuff probably not able to compete in a winter competition unless they shorten it, because Big Brother is like 90 days, something like that. And if they start this in December, if it's a winter show, I don't think they're going to start it before Christmas, because no one's going to want, especially celebrities, are not going to want to be in the house and miss Christmas, with their families and stuff like that. So it's something I expect them to start maybe at the beginning of January. So with that being said, a lot of TV shows, like if you look at, like a series like Supernatural or Once Upon a Time or, something like that, I would not expect any stars from any of those shows to appear on this Celebrity Big Brother unless it's somebody who's no longer on said show, simply because most of those shows are 4 weeks behind in terms of where they are on the show. So, like, going into the winter, so let's say January, we have January, February, March, and most shows end March, April, May. If they're in the house, they obviously can't film. So, and then it comes down to whether or not certain people have contracts with other networks, can't appear on CBS. So, I honestly expect very little in terms of actual celebrities from TV shows on there. And then it's going to come down to what big names are not currently filming movies and stuff like that. So we have a bit to work through. So looks like Luke is still MIA. And then we had so after that announcement, we had the head of household competition. And the head of household competition was with where we got to watch this movie trailer. Every year on Big Brother, we do this thing, the comic book thing, BB Comics. Everybody goes nuts, and they want to see themselves immortalized in a comic book. Unfortunately, they didn't really do that this year. Instead, they grabbed a whole bunch of the previous house members, and they filmed a movie trailer. It was cheesy. It was definitely cheesy, but I thought it was something that they were really like filming, like it was gonna be like an actual like B-list movie, or something. But it's not. It's something that was made up just for this. And it was they use this as a memory competition for the head of household. So all these previous members, they had lines. They it acted as an actual movie trailer. And we went in, and we had to, or the house guests had to say, like, if a line, who's the first person to say the word friendship. And then you had a bunch of cardboard cutouts. You had to put them in a tray, and the cardboard cutout of the person was who you selected. So they were asked like 7 or 8 questions, and whoever got the most right became the head of household. Kevin was supposed to throw it fairly early on, but Kevin was actually tied in the lead for most of it. So it was coming down to, I think it was Kevin, Josh, and Alex. Paul said he was going to throw it, and I think he was trying to get Alex to throw it as well. And he told Kevin to throw it, and they were going to let Christmas win, but then, I don't know, Alex couldn't compete because she was head of household. So it was Christmas. And they told Kevin that Christmas was going to win because they knew Kevin wouldn't throw it to Josh. So instead, they told him that it was going to Christmas. So he's sitting there the whole time. He's like, something's up, but I got to trust Paul. And eventually he did throw the competition like he was supposed to. Josh ends up winning because Josh is going to take the heat by putting Alex on the block. At least that's what Paul wants him to do. But Josh is starting to see through Paul's bullshit, and it's coming down to whether or not that's actually going to go through. Josh may blow up Paul's game, and if anybody's going to blow up Paul's game at this point, it's going to be Josh. So if Paul makes it through this, because Paul's basically been running the house this whole season, if Paul makes it through this, and they eliminate, hopefully, Alex, that's if Paul's going to win, Paul's best plan is to get Alex eliminated, and then it's going to be down to Paul, Josh, Christmas, and Kevin for the finals. Alex can't, Josh can't compete because he's the current head of household, so he can't compete in the next head of household competition. So that would leave Kevin, who can't win any competition as it is. That leaves Christmas, who is kind of physically disabled with one leg. She's starting to be able to compete and stuff, but not everything. So if it's a physical challenge, Paul has the advantage over her. And then Paul. So that leaves the 4 of them. So Paul has the best chance of winning next competition if it's a physical competition. With all the mental competitions and memory competitions and stuff that we just had, chances are this is going to be a physical competition. So if Paul makes it through, Paul's almost guaranteed to win the next head of household. If he does, he gets to eliminate one person. And then they have this big competition at the final 3, where the winner of the first one goes to round 3, and then the 2 losers of round 1 play round 2, and the winner of round 2 goes and plays Paul, or I shouldn't say Paul, I should say plays the winner of round 1 in round 3. And then the winner of round 3 gets to pick one of those people to go with them to the end. So if that is the case, best case scenario is Paul picks Christmas and Kevin, who can't win anything. Christmas isn't going to be able to compete in most of the physical competitions. So that's already kind of a guaranteed victory over that. Kevin's just not a very physical competitor. Kevin hasn't done anything this thing. So Paul has a very good choice, a very good thing. So if he does that, and they eliminate Josh, and then we go in and Paul wins head of household in the final head of household competition, then the best course of action is for Paul to pick Kevin to go with him to the end. If Paul picks Christmas, she's going to get all the sympathy votes for having her broken foot in the house, and making it this far in the game and surviving this long. So Paul would lose to Christmas. He would absolutely lose. So I think Paul coming in with Kevin is really the only option for Paul to win the game. I'm hoping Paul doesn't win the game. I would love for Kevin to win the game. That's just me. What happened at Christmas? Christmas was celebrating the fooling around or something with Jason in the house, and Jason slipped with her on his back in like a piggyback, and when he fell, it just shattered her leg, broken in like 3 different places. She has to have all kinds of pins and screws and all sorts of stuff. I would love for Christmas to win, don't get me wrong. She's done a really good job. She's made it really far. She's put a lot of trust in Paul and stuff like that. And the fact that she competed in the house and, with all this with a broken foot, it really, really goes to show how strong of a competitor she is. So I think she should win. I used to like Paul. I don't really care for him, but he's the only one that I feel is playing the game right now. So he does deserve to win this season. Probably over everybody, but if not Paul, Christmas is probably the second most deserving. Personal preference out of my favorite person in the house is Kevin. I would love for Kevin to win. I don't think Josh has a chance. That's just me. But yeah, I did get an update from Luke. Luke, even though he said he was trying to get back on, he's just sent me a message that said, I'm so sorry, my internet just completely failed out. I'll try to get back. So, unfortunately, it does not look like Luke will be making it. So, I'm going to wrap this up here. We know that Josh is the head of household. He's the head of household this episode. Coming out of this, and the people he picked to go up on the block were Kevin and Alex. So it's going to come down to the veto competition this week to see where votes fall. If one of them gets pulled off, if Alex takes herself off, unfortunately, I think Kevin's going home. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope Alex stays on the block. And it looks like Luke just popped on. I'm really hoping now that, with that being said, that Alex is the one to go home. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. So Luke
Dom?
made it back just in time. We're just wrapping it up.
Who's
But
online with us?
it's just us. We're still live though. And then so I guess before we wrap it up, because I already covered everything up to the end of the show. What I'm gonna ask you is who do you want to see in Celebrity Big Brother?
Oh, okay, yes. Well, here's my wish list, and first of all, I want to make a public apology. My internet just completely went out.
It happens, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm very sorry about that, but I'm back for the finale of our podcast tonight. Well, this finale podcast. My wish list, and I already know, before my internet went dead, I wanted to point out there are 2 potentials that I pointed out to you before we went live tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned those.
Yes. Oh, good, you mentioned that. My wish list would be Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would be great, and his partner, Aaron Carter and Nick Carter going in as a brother duo. And, maybe somebody from a soap opera, maybe, like, oh, no, I got one. Since we can bring in people from out of the country like they do in Celebrity Big Brother UK, like Frankie Grande went in theirs, you know who I would love to see? Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay would be interesting, yeah. So.
Yeah, that would be my wish list, but who's live with us right now, or was that just you?
Oh, it's just me.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, you covered everything that had to be covered when I got off, right?
Yep, we went all the way through the head of household, the nominations, everything. So, I was actually just about to wrap it up when you came online. So, if you would like to do the outro, by all means.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I'm glad you all could join us tonight. We covered a very good week in the Big Brother house. It's only going to get better. We are now down to the final 5. So we have 2 weeks till finale, till we crown the winner of Big Brother and get another look inside the jury house. But until then, get 24/7 live video from inside the Big Brother house with the Big Brother live feeds. Go to cbs.com/bb19 to try it for free. Dom, where can the people find you?
Find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
You can find me down below. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, Luke, where can the people find you?
Oh, well, you can find me down below, also on Twitter, at Zupa23. That is ZUPA23. Dom, take it away.
You can find us all and more on Facebook. Wow, I totally lost my intro. You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next week.
For now, let's eavesdrop, sort of, on the house guests. From outside the Big Brother house, I am Luke Labagnera. This is Dom Greco. See you next week.